Have you noticed the state flag has some unfamiliar pictures? There's a sailor, an anchor, and a man holding a pickaxe. He's standing next to what appears to be a stack of triangles. The triangles are really pig lead. The man with the pickaxe is a miner. There is also a badger. Why would the state symbol for Wisconsin have a stack of pig lead, a miner, and a badger? Wisconsin Territory existed from 1836 to 1848. It consisted of what is now Wisconsin and northeast Minnesota. Designed by the Honorable John S. Horner, the first Secretary of the Wisconsin Territory. The territory seal consisted of a pickaxe and a pile of lead ore. So why was mining such a symbol of early Wisconsin? In the early days of Wisconsin, in the southwest portion of the state, lead mining was the economic backbone.
Lead mining was once part of the backbone of the Wisconsin industry, along with agriculture and fishing and lumbering. And so you see it on our state flag as part of the emblem, because lead mining was such a backbone to getting the industry started and the economy started in the state of Wisconsin. And like I said before, the Cornish miners immigrated over from Cornwall, England, and established themselves here because they were miners. And large amounts of lead were being found in southwestern Wisconsin, such as in Monroe and Platteville and the Dodgeville areas. And that's why UW Platteville has such a strong engineering and mining program, because of the history of that part of the state.
For the miners, lead mining was dangerous, backbreaking work. Lead was found in parallel veins as close to the surface as 50 feet and as deep as 300 feet. The miners were generally poor farmers that used a pickaxe to knock lead ore from narrow, dark tunnels. They used only a candle for light. They had no hard hat, no knee pads, and would spend long periods of time underground without coming up for fresh air. In the earliest mines, men dug shallow diggings and spent long periods underground, earning the nickname badgers. The larger mines, often owned by absentee landowners, used teams of men and gunpowder to crack the rock.
His partner's going to hit it with a hammer, and I'm going to hold on to it. I'm probably the new worker. I have to get all the hard jobs. So every time my partner hits it, I'm going to turn it a quarter turn. And that's going to very slowly drill a hole. Once they've gone far enough, he's going to signal to his partner to stop hammering. Because if he's pulling this out and the other guy's hammering it in, it's really not going to go anywhere.
Sure.
So he needs to signal, and he can't say, stop hammering. Because there's 15, 20 men doing the same job. Or picking or just talking to each other. More likely yelling because it's so noisy. So it has to be a visual, something he can see. And they had a bunch of signals, but the most common was for the miner holding this. When they've gone far enough, he's going to put his thumb on the end of the steel drill like this.
Mine owners had little reason to care about the safety of miners. If a miner got hurt or killed, they knew they could always find a cheap replacement. It wasn't just a man's job. Boys often worked side by side with their fathers in these dangerous mines. Not only are the mining symbols on the state flag to represent the importance of mining to Wisconsin's past, but also to remember those that died in this dangerous position. Mining disasters were common, and some made national headlines. The Cherry Mine disaster in 1909 killed over 250 miners, many of whom were children. The youngest victim was 10 years old. The day of the disaster, The power was out, so the miners used torches instead of lights. They used mules to pull big buckets of ore on rails to the shaft, and they were to be fed hay. 2 miners were pushing hay to the mules when the cart stopped directly under a dripping kerosene torch. The hay caught fire, and the attempts to put it out only made it spread. A dense and deadly smoke filled the tunnels. Many men risked their own lives rescuing their friends. Without their heroic efforts, more lives would have been lost. Men kept going back into the mine to rescue the fallen. The 7th time the men went into the mine, none of them came back. Here is 16-year-old Pete Donna, who led his father through the smoke and darkness towards an escape route.
After my father and I got to the 2nd level, the fire blocked us off. It singed my hair on the side of my face and my head. We circled around the burning section and made our way to the main lift. The smoke almost overtook us. I led the way. All the lights were out, and our matches wouldn't stay lit. We met only a few others who came with us on the way. When we finally reached the lift, there was no trouble getting on it and up the shaft. It took several seconds for my eyes to get adjusted to the bright light of the surface. When I finally could see, I couldn't find my father. I wanted to go back down into the mine and get him, but they stopped me. After a couple more cage loads of men came up, my father stepped off with an old man he had saved.
Lead mining helped give birth to the state of Wisconsin. We honor the industry and its early importance on our state flag today. But the symbols also honor those who gave and risked their lives in what was a dangerous tradition.